Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. I'm always joined by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Sunday, ready to do some quick podcasting with you. We got plans, got a late start, blah, blah, blah. But at least you're getting something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody getting a little something. Show notes up front. Let me just say this. Shout out to everybody signing up for the Black Friday sale. Black Friday sale.
Appreciate that, y'all.
I had made a mistake on the website and I fixed it, but it wasn't showing on certain pages. And so a couple people signed up for the full $150 a year thing, but the sale is for $100. If you did, because you didn't see the option, email me. I'll give you the $50 back. We're not trying to, it's not a matter of we're trying to get as much money as we can. It was just a complete oversight. I checked the wrong box and a couple people emailed me and I found out last night. I was like, oops. But that explains the people that have signed up for full price. Y'all some real ones for that.
We appreciate that. But yeah, we ain't trying to get on you.
And as always, send me an email. Any questions, anything, theblackouttips@gmail.com. I will work with you to fix whatever the issue is.
Right.
The official weapon of the show is
phone chair.
An unofficial sport,
bullet ball,
and bullet ball extreme. Any banter?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's get the banter song going. That's the old one. I meant to pull up the new one. What did I do to banter? Oh, do you have any banter? Do you have any banter? Do you have any answer? Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? All right, banter me away.
Yes, me and Roger was on YouTube. And for those of you that listen to the Nerd Off, y'all know Stardew Valley is like one of my favorite video games, like of all time. Like I'm like I'm talking about. I have played thousands of hours on that goddamn video game. I love it, and I got it on every platform. I got it on the Xbox, the PlayStation, on my phone, on my tablet. Like I'm the reason. I bought that game multiple times for no goddamn reason, just because I love that game. And they keep putting up updates for it, and the updates don't cost you anything. And so me and Roger was going, and I'm saying that to say this, me and Roger were going through YouTube, and I did not know this, but an orchestra is playing the music live with strings and shit. And so next year, they doing a tour. And so I'm going. I'm going to go to the tour. I know that sounds pointless and frivolous, but I was like, you know what, bitch? I went to go try to buy tickets. And they was like, you can't buy them yet. I was like, bitch, let me know. Because I will be there with my happy ass humming along and singing along and getting my goddamn Stardew Valley life. I can't motherfucking wait. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about that. I saw that shit. I was like, yes, bitch, yes.
What kind of music does Stardew Valley have? It's not words, right?
No, it's not words.
It's kind of like 8-bit music.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. But it sounds like an experience. Obviously, enough people are excited about it for them to create a whole tour.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to see it. So, it's a very popular game. It's going to be interesting to see what the fans look like in person coming out the house to play that game. Because it's not like a community game where people play together. Everybody's basically
normally separate. Yeah, you can. I have different versions, and I have one version that I have houses on, but a lot of times I just kind of just doing my own thing. And they do have community based where you can up to, I think it's up to 3 other people, so it's 4 people, and the person that owns the land, they can decide if is something that everybody shares their money, if everybody's money divided, you know, who, you know, if you go into the homes, like what's in your homes and things like that. But then y'all can team up, and a lot of people probably do like collaborative, where everybody come in, you group it up, everybody makes more money, you can do things kind of more.
And for those wondering, this is what some Stardew Valley music sounds like. I'll only play a little bit. But, oh wait, I don't just realize, would y'all even be able to hear it? Oh wait, no, y'all should. That's Stardew Valley. So, you know, it's not, it slaps. We all know that.
It slaps. That's the intro. But they have like music when you go into the saloon. They have music for the dungeons. They have like, you know, different.
You know, obviously Grandpa's theme. We all know that one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a bop. You know what I'm saying? Turn that shit up.
Yes, let's bop, let's motherfucking go. And every now and then I wear my Stardew Valley shirt. You know, I'm one of the one people. I was like, because, you know, Roger wear his video game shirts out. And I was like, I know I like cozy games, but I was like, I want to actually start wearing that stuff out more. And I've had several people stop me, and they was like, that's my jam too. I was like, yeah, that's my jam too. And then we go and we start nerding out about Stardew Valley. I remember one time we was at the grocery store, and one of the employees, she says, I'm glad somebody has the Stardew Valley shirt. She was like, I see other video games, but I don't see that game. I said, me either. So, and I know that is childish, but
no, you don't have to down talk it. It's fine.
But like this, it gives me joy.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And you know, they have it for like other video games. You know, they have like for this and for that, and the orchestra playing. So I would just love to just see it live. And so what I personally think was going to happen, you're going to get probably longer versions of the songs versus the little snippets that you get in the background. So I'm looking to see what kind of twist they're going to make on it. And as somebody who played band and played concert band, so I'm looking forward to, like, I don't know if they're gonna have woodwind sections, so I don't know if they're gonna have like flute, clarinets, you know, piccolos, but I'm looking forward to the violins, the cellos. I'm looking forward to the bass clarinets. I mean the bass violins. Like, I'm looking forward to, I don't know if they're going to have trumpets, trombones, because when you say orchestra, you know, it could be both sides. It could be like the whole section. I don't know if they're going to be drums, xylophones. So I'm really, as somebody who grew up as like a band kid, orchestra, you know, marching band and things like that, I am ready to just sit down and just have a ball. And I know if you're somebody that's going to that, odds are you love the game, or you with somebody else who is obsessed by the game as much as I am.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a good time. I just feel bad for all the sandwich artists across America now that Kendrick has released that Mustaaaaard into the zeitgeist, because I think it's Pavlovian at this point. It's like you can't help yourself. Everyone's yelling out mustard all over the place. Mustard's gonna have to use that as his drop, I'm pretty sure. When he talks about, you know, like whenever that's gonna be his new, like, oh, Mustard got a song out, because it's gonna start with that Mustaaaaard. Somebody sent Karen, shout out to Karen Hunter on Twitter. She just sent me Karen Hunter on SiriusXM, but she sent me this on Twitter.
Right.
She sent me a clip. That apparently pastors are doing it.
What?
Pastors. A pastor did this in the pulpit, apparently. Here it is.
God will provide your needs and give you some of what you want. It was Burger King in 1973 in their heated debate with McDonald's. They needed a slogan that would help them in the beef race, that would help them in the hamburger race. They came up with a slogan that would change the trajectory.
Hold up. What? Hold up. What?
What is happening here?
What is happening in church?
Yes. How do we get here?
I thought he was gonna go with the faith of a mustard seed.
That makes sense.
But this feels like he's setting up a burger war analogy between Burger King and McDonald's. Okay, let's see where you taking the sermon. Let's see. Maybe I'm prejudging.
Yeah, of the whole hamburger race. They said instead of giving you what we think you should have, you can now have it your way. And I'm so glad that God sometimes lets us have it our way. If you wanted to
feel like I know where he's going with this.
Okay.
And it's a long setup for Mustard. That's all I'm saying. If it's
no setup for Mustard.
If it's going where I think it's going, this is the longest damn setup.
All you need is a little bit of mustard.
You wanted to see. I think he's gonna say you could have it your way. You could get ketchup. You could get pickles. You could get mustard. But if you just wanted to say it, is this like a dare? You know, like the other pastors sit around and be like, "How you gonna sneak it into your sermon?" We see who
they have a talk about it.
Look around the room, see who eyes go crazy, so you know y'all both be listening to secular music.
Burger that only had ketchup. You could get a burger that only had ketchup. Mustard!
I knew it.
Oh no!
I knew it. That's the corniest way to do it,
no.
sir.
You didn't have enough. You could have been like, yes, the faith of a mustard seed. Yes, like it's another way to kind of squeeze.
You couldn't hit Control F on the Bible and find mustard and find another reference.
I'm pretty sure you could have.
I'm so glad I serve a God who does not just give me what I need, but also gives me what I want.
See, that's he stretched that too far. He stretched that too far. I'm sorry. But see, that's what mustard is doing to us. Kendrick done changed. He done changed the way we use the word, and now everybody's trying to find a way to sneak it into everything they do. Oh man, I feel so bad for the people that work at Subway and behind the counter at fucking.
I didn't even think about that. They gonna be like, "What would you want? Mustard?" I'm like, "Sir, this is." We're in the middle of lunch. Like, I can't deal with this.
I want some mustard on the meat, hoe. Like, first of all, I'm not a hoe.
Right.
The mustard goes on the bread.
And what kind of meat do you want?
And this is the 97th time I've heard that joke today. So, sir, can you please just finish ordering?
Yeah, I could see somebody just jumping over the counter and just like choking the shit out of somebody going, "Y'all stop this bullshit."
Imagine you ain't heard the song yet and motherfuckers just coming in yelling mustard at you.
Right. You don't know who the hell you don't know nothing, and you're like, why? And you give them a break, you're like, why the fuck everybody keep screaming mustard at the drive-thru?
Someone gonna I feel like someone's gonna go on TikTok and just order a sandwich that's only got mustard. It's just gonna be bread and mustard. And they just gonna keep yelling mustard at the sandwich maker until they make a mustard sandwich. Because I just don't know where else this is going logically, if not for that. And I feel bad for them people. When someone stabs somebody working at a Jersey Mike's, I'm gonna say I get it. I'm not even gonna be. I'm like, yep. Like when you order one and you don't do it, it's gonna be a little relief on their eyes. Like, oh wow, you're a cool person. You just I said, do you want mayo or mustard? And I sighed and looked at you and said, please don't. And you said, I'll take deli mustard. And thank you, sir. You're a good person.
Yes.
But all right, Karen.
Anything
else for your?
Yes. For those of you that listened to our last movie review, you know this. Me and Roger was at the movie theater and somebody got some good sleeps. It was just hilarious. Me and Roger was sitting in the movie theater and all of a sudden we're here. I was like, what is that noise? I was like, something was happening. Yeah, Chad, they was knocked out. They got all the snaps.
Yeah, the snaps?
The naps.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of interesting because I always feel like sleeping in the movies is just, I almost never do it. And we go to a lot more movies than most people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just like a scarcity mindset of like, I don't want to miss out because I paid money to be here. Why would I come? Like, I fought through sleep, like on some bad movies.
Yes,
I still remember Hellboy 2 putting me to the test. I was in that bitch in the front row. Like,
to the test.
Shit? Like, I did not like that movie. I even on replay, it made me feel sleepy at home. But anyway, no offense to Hellboy 2. But yeah, that I just wonder if it's everyone's like overworked and tired, and you get anywhere and the lights off, and it's like I'm going to bed.
Yeah, yes.
But
My mama, she's like that. She does not go to the movie theaters or anything like that, because you turn them lights off, it don't matter what you call it. I'm like,
not to mention it was Gladiator 2, which I think is a movie that has several sleeps in it, despite Denzel chewing up the scenery. Drake had just started to pop his head out. Got a haircut, took a selfie, and Kendrick really dropped this GNX on us.
Unannounced too. Didn't nobody know that shit was coming?
Just 9 a.m. on a Friday. Just fuck it. Just go back into your cave, Drake.
Yeah, so East Coast was like, let's go. West Coast was like, bitch, we just woke up.
I don't know how they could complain about that though. I mean, that means you got the album out as soon as you wake up.
As soon as you woke up.
It's better for you. But nah, it was amazing. I've listened to it. I know people are waiting on me to like do a deep dive because I'm such a Kendrick fan and I, known to give thoughtful takes on his albums. I will, but I've never and won't be doing it within like 48 hours or whatever. Like, I think there's people that's how they absorb music, and that's good. There's a lot of people like that. I'd say the vast majority of people like that. I think they speak for the 99% when they talk about, like, I listened to this album one time and it was good or it was bad, and this is what I like and this is what it means. I think someone like Kendrick has a lot more depth than that, and the longer you sit with it, the more you get out of it. So it might be a week or two before I can fully give you the like breakdown of what I got from this album. The surface level stuff though, I can tell some little stuff like how much of a student of hip hop Kendrick is, and how much of this album is about tributing other artists. Tupac, Common, Nas, like so many artists got like, and not just the direct like, oh, they're on the album or whatever, or this song is called Nas. Like, no, he rap, like you can tell that Man in the Garden is inspired by One Mic. Reincarnated is just one of the smartest, immaculate songs I've ever heard in my life, because it's so many levels to it. He's not just doing a Tupac impression. He's bringing back Tupac through his voice and cadence and rhythm and word choice, but also each verse is about an actual different artist in real life. I think the first one might be John Lee Hooker. I think the second is Billie Holiday. And then the third verse is about the devil talking to God, and how the devil has been the one that's been reincarnated on earth and used music to try to spread negativity through people's soul. But like now that this devil's spirit is in Kendrick, he's trying to like he's reforming it and taking all the negativity out of the music and stuff. Like, it's just, my man is just, he's something else. This is why he's my GOAT. Like, he's something else. They didn't make more than one of these.
You only gonna get one.
The last thing I'll say about the album is he also kind of simplified and dumbed it down for people, because, and I'm not trying to be like a snob about it, but I think this is just facts of what happened. Obviously, the last album, the last two, I say The Pimp a Butterfly definitely like made people feel like it's a downer, like because a lot of it is very like sad work, it's about grief and about
it was very
temptation and all that stuff. And then Mr. Morale is another sad album, very introspective. I think possibly his best work, but also not accessible in that way. It's not just you hit play and then you immediately like, take me away, beats.
Right.
This album, he clearly said, I think between this beef and this, he said, let me make some shit that y'all will just vibe to, and you don't need to like put on a thinking cap for all the songs and try to find all the references and stuff. And I won't be surprised if this isn't the official like album. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does release an actual like another album, because it feels almost mixtape-ish. And because of the buzz in the streets and stuff and on Twitter, we see that a lot of these songs he was literally working on like 2 days before the album came out. Ooh. Which isn't really his style for putting out an album. So right. I wouldn't be surprised if he has more shit ready to go. But yeah, I fucking love this thing. And shout out to the men's. Shout out to the men's. I've been saying it for years. The women in hip hop have kind of been kicking the men's asses when it comes to putting out good music and moving the culture. But man, y'all waited till the end of 2024 to come through. But between Kendrick, Absol, Tyler, Earth Gang dropped a new joint. Okay. Freddie Gibbs dropped a new joint.
I need to listen to that Earth Gang. But Tyler,
we ending the year strong with the men.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go back and listen to Kendrick. I've been fucking hard with that new Tyler the Creator. Literally is like, hey dog, this might be my fucking album of the year. That shit is goddamn flames. You press play, beginning to end, no skips. That shit is fire.
Yeah, not like the women did bad or anything. Just the men stepped it up. Like there's a lot of good shit coming out that's not that, that bullshit stuff that we've been getting for a lot of artists the last few years. And ironically, a lot of that's on Drake. That's the biggest irony of all this shit is like, that's the person people chase. That's the dude who was a tastemaker in hip hop, and he puts out service level music. And a lot of people just said that's what's up. And Kendrick said nah. And the last thing on Reincarnated, and then we can move on. Reincarnated is such a it's like kicking a person when they're down, meaning this is what Kendrick was illustrating when he talked about how it was basically almost offensive when Drake did his AI version of Tupac and Snoop Dogg retweeted or shared that shit on Instagram or whatever. I remember saying like, this shit is like, it's whack because you didn't write it in the voice of Tupac. You just put AI on top of Drake. And so it doesn't make me feel or think like Tupac. It doesn't make me feel like you respect Tupac even for me to be like, oh man, you know what? He's a real fan of Tupac, and he's really it's really more disrespect to Tupac in a way, how surface level that shit was. And so Kendrick goes and does this Reincarnated in Tupac's voice, and the song makes you feel it sound like Tupac but it's obviously Kendrick, right? Mm-hmm. I'll let you hear a second.
I got this fire burning in me from within. Concentrated thoughts on who I used to be. I'm shedding skin.
Okay, so that's dope. But when I tell you, if you want to hear it confirmed, I'm about to show y'all something on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Someone took the AI Tupac voice and made it, overdubbed it over Kendrick's voice, so that you're still hearing Kendrick's lyric, Kendrick's words, but now it's like Tupac is saying it. They did this on TikTok.
Yeah, he was doing the cadence. Yeah.
This shit sounds so. It gave me chills the first time I heard this. We get the words.
Isolation, I was 4 years old. Truth be told, I've been battling myself, trying to navigate the rhythm shake. Cynical about the judgment day. I did pass like profession last year when it fucked me up. Reincarnated on this earth for 100 plus. Body after body, lesson after lesson. Take it back to Michigan in 1947. My father kicked me out the house because I wouldn't listen to him. I didn't care about his influence, only love what I was doing. Gifted as a musician, I play guitar on the grand level. The more delicate where I'm from, but I had to rebel.
That's Tupac.
Right, because it's like, you understood and you actually studied, so you was like, this is the cadence, and so yeah, they might be my words, but I'm gonna mimic that cadence to a T.
That's a person, and like Kendrick didn't do that, like he didn't add the AI voice to it. Right, he just did it as himself. But
right,
when someone adds the AI voice to it, that's the difference. That's what I was hoping and looking for when it was like Drake did a AI Tupac, and I was like, all right, let me go check it out. And I was like, that's terrible. It doesn't even feel like Tupac. Doesn't sound. It literally is just a computer saying the words of Tupac, like saying like the voice phrase and vocal tones of Tupac, but it's no art in it. this is the difference. This is why AI isn't enough.
Right.
Like when people go, man, the AI gonna be making music. I'm like, it's not gonna be able to do it. You need artistry. You need people. You need someone to understand the difference. And man, what Kendrick did was amazing, and that just really brought it home. Anything else for you, man?
Oh, my last thing is I feel better. I woke up this morning and I was kind of really sad. I've been sad for a while, and I thought about what you said, how you said that anger is sadness with nowhere to go. And so over the past few weeks, I've been very, very angry, like super duper, like above your. I don't know if anybody been catching. I know Roger's probably caught on.
I'm sure people have been catching it because they've been leaving comments on our, Karen is saying she's my spirit animal. She's saying what she need. That's what I'm saying, Karen. So I think a lot of people are angry. As I keep saying in the on the podcast, I think people are rightfully very angry.
Yes. So I've been really, really angry. But one thing I really haven't done was actually just sit in the sadness part of it. Because the thing is, if anger is sadness with no place to go, that means you have to process the sadness in order to get through the anger. And I don't think people understand that, because a lot of people, once they get angry, they just stay angry. And then if you never address the sadness, the anger will never go away because you're always sad about whatever the issue is. So for some reason, this morning I was getting up and I just got really, really sad. And so I was sitting there and I just broke down and I really cried. I had a real good hard cry, which is something that I did not realize that I actually needed. And the crying is more of just mourning and just releasing a lot of the sadness and depression that just kind of came over on me. It's another reason why I kind of tapped out. I haven't listened to any news. I haven't watched anything. I just could not. Mm-hmm. And so that's the biggest reason why, like, for those who've been paying attention, when Roger said I've been watching Issachar, like, y'all, I've been knocking them bitches out. I cannot tell you, I've lost count. I've been kind of keeping a track, but it's a lot of Issachar.
Yeah, I don't even know how we're going to do the next Nerd Off. We may have to limit you to just like, you can only talk about a few of these at a time.
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah,
for the next few months or whatever, because you watch that many.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of break it down, probably 5 to 10, and then do another 5 until I kind of work my way through them all.
Wow.
Because I've really, when I was like, I've got to escape this, I meant that. Like, I really meant mentally, I had to literally tap out. Mm-hmm. Because truth be told, you look around and all you see is hurt, and all you see is pain, and all you see is sadness, and all you see is disappointment, and all you see is anger. It will impact you. You can deny it all you want to and be quote unquote as strong as you can. That shit will wear you the fuck out.
Nothing's more like powerful than the truth you won't tell yourself. I'm not gonna tell you like, well, Karen, you're actually just really sad and it's depressing and you're making yourself angry and it's not really changing anything. I'm not gonna say that. Like, you got to come do it on your own. But
right.
As we're all coping in our different ways. I just throw on the American Dad. That's my go-to. Video games, stuff like that. Not really paying that much attention to certain news and the shocking alarm they want us to have of him doing what he said he was going to do, what we all thought he would do. So I definitely understand people like that. And I think, to a certain extent, you have to step back and be like, what is real and what's not? What's actually affecting me right now and what's not? He's not in power yet. The stuff he's planning to do hasn't been done yet.
Right.
Well, some of the shit he's planning to do is not even stuff that's going to directly affect us. It's just I'm a human being that cares about other people.
Agreed.
And it will bother me in that way. But, I think the anger at our fellow citizens, the anger at the coverage of it and the excuses that seem to be given and stuff, I think that's what's really, rage inducing. And if you don't let it out, you can't, if you don't let it out, you can't process it to move to some happiness, to move on. And I feel like this has been a grieving process for all of us that were rooting for Kamala and that was hoping the country could be better than it has been. in the past, and I was there when you was crying and stuff, and holding you and whatnot, and I haven't seen you that sad since your mom passed,
Right.
but I think holding it in doesn't holding it in doesn't make you not sad. Not expressing the emotion doesn't mean you don't have the emotion.
Right. That's
But
yeah. And
I'm not a pusher. I'm an empath, but I'm not a pusher. I'm not gonna be like, you need to cry or whatever. Like I'm not, I'm not, gonna hold you like it's Goodwill Hunting or something. It's like if you choose to experience those emotions, I'm here for you. I'm not gonna judge you. There's no performance that you owe me. You don't have to be happy for anybody. And so it's always up to you how you want to experience those emotions in life. But I cried when she lost. I cried like that night, and it's very frustrating and very sad. So I to live in a country where it feels like you are going backwards, and that there's a lot of people that voted because they wanted us to feel the way we're feeling.
Yes. Yeah,
So.
and that was and I realized that was the whole point. And people can process this however you want to process it. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to stay involved and listen and raise, you handle you. As far as me,
Yeah,
I have to be truthful with myself. So this is my way of processing it.
I think a lot of people say stuff like that too, where they say like, oh, I'm not sad. I don't get, it's like when people say stuff like, I don't need to move on. I stay independent. And I'm like, okay, maybe you are one of one fucking X-Man. Maybe you the first person they made that don't have all the 5 emotions that process and shit. But for the most fucking part, there's a emotional connection to all the phases. So if you're keeping the grudge, you're mostly still upset. There's an emotional something keeping the grudge in place.
Yes.
If I stay petty is also kind of like you stay triggered to a certain extent all the time. If that's you and you accept that about yourself, that's fine. I'm not. Right. This is not a judgment of that. But just the idea that certain concepts don't matter to people is crazy. So like, forgiveness, moving on, 5 stages of grief, all that stuff, depression. All that stuff is real for everybody, and I'm glad you were able to have that breakthrough this morning, because I feel like after I cried, I was able to start kind of moving on a bit and be like, all right, like ball up top. You know what I'm saying? Like end of the day, I'm protecting me and mine. I'm not giving up on humanity or my peoples or the people or myself even. But this is the reality we out here in this environment we're in, and there's nothing I can do to escape that. So I have to move on because all the bullshit is gonna keep moving on too. And I want to survive it.
Yeah, agreed. And it's also, I think for me, and I'm sharing this with people because I know other people feel the same things and feel the same way I do. And so, I just want people to know that they're not alone. And so, for me, when it was like almost like a tearing, like it's like, okay, this has got to come out of me in order for me to get to the point that I'm like, okay, all right, now let's pick up the sword, let's pick up the shield, and let's get out here and let's do the work, because you can get so distraught and so frustrated sometimes that you are like, well, what is the point of the work, when you're trying to do these things? But the thing is, you're fighting for a future that has yet to be determined. And so I will do everything that I can to alter the future as much as I can with the tools that I have and the platform that I have to reach as many people that we do. Because one thing I can't do is look my ancestors in the face who had to deal with a whole lot more worse than I did. And they looked at a future that they could not see, which was me. And they didn't give up on me.
Exactly. And
so go ahead.
No, I agree. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No problem. So I had to learn. Sometimes you have to learn how to look at the bigger picture and look outside of yourself, which is very, very hard to do when you're mourning. Because I can imagine my ancestors mourning and sad and depressed, losing family members, being separated from family members, knowing they never see their family members again, watching their family members get killed in front of them, and still having the resolve to be like, okay, I'm going to keep pushing, knowing that if I go vote today, I might die. Clank, clank, let's go, and still went and was like, I'm going to die because I know there will be a time when this is going to matter. There are people alive today that have fought for my right to be able to be here. And you have to get to the point where you have to be as adamant as Republicans are to take it away from you. You have to be just as adamant to say you will not. You have to literally say over my dead body. You have to be like, I will take my last breath and still believe the future will be better, because I am somebody, and Roger knows about me. I am somebody, I have to have hope. I cannot live a life of hopelessness. And the internet will tell you, if you allow your mind to tell you, everything will tell you that all hope is gone. Anxiety, all these things tell you this, and the whole sole purpose of it is for you to just completely and utterly give up. But I refuse.
Yeah, I think that's what they want. For one, that was kind of the goal. The other thing is, we come from a resilient people. White men got the right to vote in 1776. It's one of the reasons that Donald Trump and them promote those numbers. Racial barriers to voting were removed in 1870, but states were allowed to practice voter discrimination, and even included on the basis of race. White women got the right to vote in 1920. 1965 was when black people got the right to vote. Something that, essentially they basically want to overturn. But the point being, these struggles are long, and there's setbacks and there's pull forwards, and there's setbacks and there's pull forwards, and we're in a setback right now for sure. I don't know what the future holds, but we won't get to the future by giving up. And I'm not talking about this like fighting for everybody else shit. Everybody should be fighting for other people. That's true. But at the end of the day, the reason I said yesterday when you were like, black women gonna just stop doing all this stuff, and I was like, I don't know, because black women, one of the biggest misnomers about black women in the Democratic Party, when they say it's the backbone of the party, they always make it sound like, and thank black women, you owe black women saved us. Black women saved themselves,
right,
through the means that were the most viable for themselves. And they just happen to be one of the only groups in America that almost down to a person understands, hey, we don't need to fuck around. Every other group gets a little bit less more. Like it's like, okay, 90% of black women know we don't need to be fucking around. 80% of black men know we don't need to be fucking around. 67% of Latino women know we don't need to be fucking around. It's like that.
Yeah, each time it goes.
Yeah, it goes down a little bit. But at no point do we need to paint black women as like altruistic. Black women are human, and they're doing what is best for them too. It's
right. The country just happens to benefit, but yes,
yeah, everybody else is the ones who be fucking around.
Yes,
they just don't fuck around. And so I can't say, even at a down point like this, I can't say that I see black women just completely abandoning politics and change and government and community. Because I think people may feel that way now, but I think it's hard when you see other people in need, other black women in need, black people in your community, because all politics is local, in need, to just go, fuck them. I got my PhD or whatever. And especially knowing how much community has been necessary for black people's survival. I don't know what it'll look like. I'm not predicting that, we'll run Kamala Harris again. I have no idea, but I'm just saying I don't see a world where people completely give up and give in. And I think part of that is you got to process the pain so that you can then get to the point of like the resiliency of like, all right, yeah, I was sad, I was down, I'm fighting.
Yeah, yes, and I think that that's where I'm at now. I did not realize how much I needed that this morning. And after that happened, I began to process, and kind of was just talking to you through the day. And so, and I jotted it down as a random thought because I was like, you know what?
That's very brave and nice of you to share. And you're right. Other people the same people that wrote Karen is my spirit animal, Karen is how I feel, they also hopefully some people, if not those same people, hopefully can relate to this and be like, yeah, and maybe I need to process the anger through like why I'm so angry right now too, and how I'm gonna move in and with around and through this angry season.
Yes, and also the thing is, Black women never give up on their community. They don't give up on, but they never give up on their community. So I think that women will be instrumental in fighting against a lot of the things that's getting ready to be implemented, like as far as schools and all this types of stuff. It's going to be a lot of. I would not be surprised if you see a lot of Black women running their own schools, doing free lunches, like doing all types of things to like really dig in to help the community actually get through whatever's about to happen. And Black men too, but I really see Black women more than any other group because we're forced to care about the community when no one else does.
Yep. I agree totally. We got to start getting ready to get out of here. We got meet some friends for dinner. I'll try to leave on a high note and say, not that was a low note, but Kai Cenat is the first official person that makes me feel old.
Who?
Right. Well, it doesn't work for you because you don't ever know who anyone is and you like feeling old.
Yes.
I don't like feeling old. I like being a person to be up on stuff and to look up stuff and to know and to tell my other older homies and peers like, oh no, this is who Juice WRLD is. When this is Earth Gang. I like being that person.
Yes, you put me on to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so for you to say who, I'm a person that needs to know who. But with Kai Cenat, he's a streamer and he's the kid that we covered where he went to New York Times to give away PS5s and caused a fucking riot.
Oh, that dude, yeah, and they was like, dog, you can't do that, right?
And he's big on like social media, Twitch or wherever he streams, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I say he makes me feel old, that it's so interesting because Twitter totally overreacts to everything. They can't just let a brother have a joke because I just said Kai Cenat is the first person that made me officially feel old. And some people try to make me feel better. Shout out to Karen Hunter. She's like, you're not old, the world's crazy, people voted for Trump, da da da. I'm like, yes, I'm not really being serious. What I mean by makes me feel old, it's not that I can't know who Kai Cenat is. I could easily go Google it. Not everyone who knows who he is just Googled it. I know of him. I know what he does for a living as far as like streaming and stuff. I don't get why he's famous. I don't get what makes him better than other people, what makes people glom onto him more than the other millions and millions of Twitch people. This is not hate. I've seen his clips on social media, celebrities hanging out at his house, all kinds of shit. What I'm saying is this. I officially feel old because I actually don't give a fuck to look it up. I don't be knowing and don't want to know. Karen, you just want to say this because you like that feeling. I've never liked that feeling. So I was just like, oh, okay. So you bring up Kai Cenat, I'm literally just okay being like, yeah, don't know, don't care what he's up to, don't really matter to me. Y'all can say Kai Cenat killed somebody tomorrow. I feel the same way if y'all said Kai Cenat is won the presidency. I'll be like, oh, okay. Oh, Kai Cenat. Was that like an anime character? I don't know. It's all right. Good for him. Or bad for him. Or whatever y'all want it to feel.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about
you
it.
Like it, I love it.
Yeah. Like I'm sure he's a very entertaining or offensive or not offensive or great person or bad person or however the person talking to me about this dude feels, because I'm officially opting out. I'm old and it ain't my business. It's not for me to like. You know, I finally reached that age. I know some people, you're like, I can't believe my parents. I grew up. I was like, can't believe my parents don't care about this thing I care about. Don't they want to know? And apparently the whole time they was like, no, I'm old. That's for you to know.
Right. It ain't that important to me.
Yeah. You're only as old as you feel. And Kai Cenat, the only person right now to make me feel old. Everybody else, I'm like, oh, let me look into this Earth Gang. I'm gonna go this. Oh, let me check out this song. Oh, they got 5 albums already. Let me go on this guy's YouTube. Kai Cenat, I'll be like, nah, I'm not clicking on that. I don't care. All right, y'all. That's it. We gotta go. Thanks for listening. We'll be back throughout the week, but we do have a lot of Hornets games this week, so we might be back sporadically throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Have a good rest.